they've corrected some little annoyances that may have slowed you down in previous versions of SSIS. There are some changes with development, not really a whole lot, which is kind of surprising, but there are a few, and there may be some I just haven't discovered yet, because what I found was the documentation, the official Books Online documentation on what's new with SSIS really didn't cover everything that's out there. There are some changes with troubleshooting and logging, and makes logging a whole lot easier. And probably the biggest change is around deployment. So we'll see if we can cover all of these, and what I would like to do is, this session will probably take close to an hour. If we have time for questions at the end, I'll try to address those questions, but what I will do for sure is I'll write a blog with the answers to any questions that you may have. We'll just have Rachel send them to me after the session's done. So that's the end of the slides. Let's just jump right in and take a look at what's new. The first thing that is a cosmetic change is that we no longer have bids. Now we have SQL Server data tools. It really doesn't make a difference to how you work day to day. The thing that is kind of annoying to me is that, you know, I love that acronym BIDS. I can say BIDS. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Now we've got SQL Server Data Tools. We'll call it SSDT, but it just doesn't roll off the tongue as nicely as BIDS. So that, to me, is a little disappointing, but, you know, it doesn't make a difference in how you work from day to day. All right. Otherwise, you know, we're still in that Visual Studio environment, and you can run this in either Visual Studio 2010 or Visual Studio 2012. So they have made a change where you can, going forward, you're not stuck in a particular version of Visual Studio, which will make your life a little bit easier. One of the first things you'll notice is this Getting Started window. And you can, you know, make it go away. You can dismiss it and never look at it. But it does have some useful links to some tutorials and videos to help you get started with SSIS. So that's kind of nice, especially if you're new to SSIS. If you're just new to 2012 and you have a lot of experience in previous versions, you may not care about that. But if you're new to SSIS, you know, on any version, this is a really nice little feature. Okay, so take a look at this control flow, and you may notice that the controls or the tasks I have here do look different. Notice these rounded corners and the little shadow behind them. Whenever the new features of SSIS 2012 were announced at the PASS conference, and I don't remember if this was 2011 or 2010, probably 2011, when they announced that, it was kind of a big joke that the biggest enhancement was these rounded corners. You know, obviously it was just a joke. So, you know, it doesn't make any difference to how you do your work. It just looks different. I'm going to run this package, and when I do, you'll see another cosmetic change. In the past, the task would change color from, they would change color from white to yellow and to green or red as the package ran. You'll notice instead of that, now we have these little twirly icons over on the corner. If I take a look at a data flow, there's another cosmetic change here. Hopefully you're not, I think red-green is the most common color blind, but for some reason in the data flow, instead of having a green arrow, they have a blue arrow. Not sure that why that's different, but you know, it is what it is. Another cosmetic type change, and one that confused me quite a bit at first, was that if for some reason I dismiss my toolbox, usually the way I would always get it back would be to view toolbox. Unfortunately, this is not the right toolbox. Not sure why they did it, but now they have a toolbox that's specifically for SSIS. And to get it back, I can right-click in the control, oops, not that area, yeah, I can, data floor control flow area, and get the SSIS toolbox back. Or I could also click on this little icon over here. You'll notice that the toolbox is divided into several sections now. We have some favorites, we have common, other transforms, other sources, other destinations, and if I go over to the control flow, you'll see that we also have some new sections. I'm not real thrilled about this piece yet because I feel like I'm spending more time trying to find the task or transform than I need, but maybe I'll get used to it. One thing I can do is I can right-click on a particular task or transform or source or destination, and I can move it to a different group. Again, it's probably not going to affect the way you work, but it's just something you need to be aware of. So that's it for the cosmetic type changes. So, you know, again, to me, I'm working for a customer right now, and I have been really all year doing SSIS work on 2008 R2.